You've been asked to give a persuasive presentation. It's something that you care about and would like for your audience to care about as well. The question is, how are you going to reach your goal of changing your listeners' attitudes, values, beliefs, or behaviors, and challenge the listeners to act on this information? What strategies will you use? This video shares strategies you can use to reach your audience. Those strategies are ethos, logos, and pathos. Another way to express this is that we want to talk about credibility, the use of evidence and reasoning, and the proper use of emotion. These are three strategies that we've discussed before, but now we want to apply these to persuasive speaking. The first strategy to use to reach and persuade others in a presentation is to use credibility well. Yesterday, I was listening to the news and heard a very popular singer was going to get involved in trying to stop the use of fracking in oil exploration in North Carolina. He wants to reach that audience and persuade them. Now, he has credibility as a singer, but that does not make him a fracking expert. Every audience asks or should ask a simple question whenever they listen to a speaker, especially one trying to persuade them. The question is, why should I listen to and believe this speaker? And you, the speaker, have to provide a convincing answer. The answer can be provided by what you do even before you begin speaking. Appearance and body language can speak louder than the words you have to say. So always try to dress and look a little nicer than your audience, and look and act professional at all times. Credibility is also provided by what you say. In your introduction, you need to answer that question that is probably on the minds of your audience. Tell them in a couple of sentences what expertise and background you bring to this discussion. You will continue to build your credibility as you use credible sources throughout your speech. The second strategy to use to reach and persuade others in a presentation is to use evidence and reasoning. Ultimately, there might be a variety of influences that affect someone actually being persuaded enough to take real action. But you need to give people the facts as the foundation for that decision. This is a research speech, not an opinion speech. For someone to be persuaded enough to take action, they must first see that the situation you are talking about is a problem. Do people take action about things that are not a problem? So if you want to persuade, you must do three things. You must convince people there is a problem. You must convince people you have a real and viable solution. And then you must convince them to take some action. Think of it like this. When people actually act on what you have shared, it's like they're writing a check. That is what people do when they're really convinced of something. They take action. As a speaker, you must give plenty of evidence when you're convincing people of the problem and the solution. Evidence can be in the form of facts, examples that clarify, statistics, quotes, references to studies, or expert testimony. These must all be from quality, credible sources. Reasoning is how you use this evidence to construct an argument for your position. Be very careful to avoid faulty reasoning. The third strategy to use to reach and persuade others in a presentation is the proper use of emotional appeal. More than any other type of speech, your delivery and use of words is critical and important in this one. Two things to remember. The first is to realize that people rationalize with their minds and act with their hearts. Give evidence and reasoning, but also appeal to people's emotions. Are you going to appeal to their pride of community or family? Hope for the future? Love of nature or others? Fear of what might happen if they don't act? Use language and sentence structure that appeals to these types of emotions. Plan out what emotion you will appeal to. Second, do not overuse or misuse emotions to persuade. Don't just present sad information that tugs at heartstrings and then attempt to get people to act. You've left out the important foundation of facts if you do this. Your persuasive speech may start with a position, something you are very concerned about and you want others to care about as well. But your presentation must be built on the foundation of credibility, evidence and reasoning, and the proper use of emotions. Your persuasive speech is a presentation of research, not just the sharing of your opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It's the presentation of clear, credible research that's needed for a persuasive presentation. Use credibility, evidence and reasoning, and the proper use of emotions as strategies to reach and persuade others of the things that you care about. See you in our next video.